Children, we will now look at the next heading of your chapter, which says which dates. Now, which dates are important? Which dates do we choose to write history, or what is the criteria of choosing dates to write history? Now, normally we select dates around which an event takes place so that we can compose a story, like the date you were born. And if we take that date, we can compose the whole story, the whole event around that date, isn't it, to make it more interesting. So historians normally choose a date when an event has taken place, an important event takes place around which we compose a story. Now, your birth date may be not important for the others, so they will not be interested. That date becomes immaterial to them. Your birth date will be more liked by your family people or who are close to you. Yes, for others it is immaterial. So normally the historians choose a date around which an event takes place so that they can have a whole story weaved of the past to make it more interesting. So that date becomes very, very important. As I told you, children, that we select dates around which an event takes place so that we can compose a story. Now, for example, the Britishers wanted their conquest of India, and their administrative policies and achievement should focus on the history of modern India. So they chose to begin with the rules of their first Governor General, Warren Hastings, and ended with the last Viceroy, that is Lord Mountbatten. And they wrote it in sequence, starting from Warren Hastings to Wellesley to Bentinck, then Dalhousie, Canning, Loren, Linton, Ripon, Curzon, Harding, Irwin, and finally the last one, Viceroy Mountbatten, Lord Mountbatten. And they wrote about all their activities, their personalities, their policies, their achievements, what all about their lives. So, and they wrote them in different chapters, starting from Warren Hastings, everything about Warren Hastings, then different chapter on Wellesley. So they wrote about all their governor generals, right from the first Warren Hastings to the last, that is Lord Mountbatten. Children, as I told you, the British historians wrote about their governor generals and viceroys and divided them into chapters. Now the question must be arising in your minds as to why history is divided into chapters. Now, why it is divided into chapters? First, that the past events can be written in a very organized and a logical manner, in a chronological order, and to make the past events interesting and to be understood by all. And then it is like a sequence. After one story, the connectivity of the next one follows. So it should be organized and connective and made interesting, because you can't learn the entire history in one chapter. It becomes too big to understand. So to make it interesting and be understood by all, each unit is divided into chapters so that there is a link with with the first chapter to the last chapter. Children, let's go to the next point in your chapter. How do we periodize history? Now, periodization of history started in 1817 by James Mill. He published a 3-volume book called History of British India, and he divided that book into 3 periods. First period he called it as the Hindu period, then Muslim period, and then British period. And this periodization was accepted by all historians earlier. But there was a problem with this periodization, which we later will learn. Okay, so now we will see why is it important to periodize history. It is important to periodize history because it is impossible to learn the entire history of India all together in one go. So we divide them according chronologically in order so that it is easier to understand and it becomes interesting. And with the periodization, we can capture the important events of that time, the characteristics, the key features of that time. We can see the difference between earlier period and the later period, and we will see how ideas have formed, how they were in the past, how they are at present, how it has changed. And then we also see this importance of the change, how this development take place. So that is why we try and divide history into different periods. And the first division was done by James Mill, who was a Scottish economist, a political philosopher, and he wrote a book called History of British India and divided and periodized Indian history into Hindu, Muslim and British.